What's going on, my light ones? It's your boy MoashDMC back again, and I know it's been a while since you've seen my face. Your boy's been in hiding because I'm looking a little rough, but that's besides the point. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 1041, and oh boy. To be honest, for 17 pages, Oda sure packed a lot. The anticipation has risen, and everyone's angst is at the edge of a seat. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So it's time to change the screen. Bada bing, bada boom, forget about it. So instead of going and reading the chapter, I already read the chapter quite a few times. So now I'm just going to go over the talking points that I have on the screen. I like the nice little picture in the background because it adds a little bit more flair to what's going on the screen as well. But let's get right into the conversation. Zunisha Momonosuke. So Momonosuke is seen not really talking to Zunisha because Momonosuke already talked to Zunisha, but Momonosuke is conversing with Yamato saying that I've already talked to Zunisha before, but this time it's a little bit different because Zunisha came here to fight alongside me, and Yamato responds that, yes, I knew you could always talk to Zunisha because Oden anticipated it. And this adds a little bit more layers to the story because everyone was already talking about, is Momonosuke Joy Boy? And now everyone's like, is Momonosuke Joy Boy? But as we've seen very recently is that Luffy can also communicate with Momonosuke, so it could be a thing that Luffy's also Joy Boy, or maybe Joy Boy really does show up, but who knows? Oden said, prepare 20 years in the future for the arrival of Joy Boy. So it's very interesting if Momonosuke was truly supposed to be Joy Boy and Oden was just sort of like not really telling him directly, but maybe that's what was actually said in the journal, that you are Joy Boy and you have to remain alive because you are the one to lead the world to the new dawn, that Yamato keeps reiterating. So I'm interested because I'm not really sure where it's going to go, but Momonosuke said, unfortunately, the most important parts in the journal were ripped out by Oden. Obviously, I already talked about this multiple times. The journal is going to play a key part moving forward, maybe the information in the journal, but I don't think we're going to get every single piece in the journal. And here we are with the final reveal that Oden did rip out some of the pages. Then we get a little bit more of a dialogue, or not dialogue, but we get a little bit more of a Momonosuke moment with Momonosuke talking about how, I don't know if I can really do this. Like, am I really brave enough? Because truthfully, I don't want to open the borders. Why would I want to open the borders and bring all the dangers of the outside world into Wano? Because Momonosuke has traversed the seas. Momonosuke was on Whitebeard and Roger's ship. Momonosuke also seen Kaido. He knows Kaido. Momonosuke also fought alongside, but he was there at Punk Hazard. He was there with Luffy throughout his journey. So he knows the outside world ain't all roses, man. It's crazy out there. I really don't want the people of Wano to experience this. We also have to remember the people of Wano have also experienced even worse conditions with Kaido running Wano. So it's give or take. And if Momonosuke doesn't get strong enough, who knows? All right. But besides that, I like the moment to begin because now we're getting a little bit more of a Momonosuke, even though he's older, even though he's trying to be brave, he's still like having this like back and forth with himself. And I do like the addition of that because it makes it seem that Momonosuke is not this flat character. He has a special moments, but right now he still holds the key to a lot that's supposed to happen in Wano and the aftermath of opening Wano, or the aftermath at the end of Wano. But next, we're going to talk about the Retainer's last moments. To be honest, where in the hell is Denjiro? Like, guys, I've been talking about Denjiro almost every single chapter prediction video. I'm like, yeah, we're going to see him. Yeah, we're going to see him. He has to come. Yeah, he has to come. It makes sense now. Where is he? We have Izo fighting basically maybe his last fight ever against Maha of CP0. And I couldn't tell. I'm going to go on a whim and say that he was actually fighting both of them. But I couldn't tell if it was just a 1v1 and the other guy was just sitting out and watching. But it looks like Izo was able to handle both of them fairly easily, because not fairly easily because Izo's presumably maybe dead, but easily enough that not only was he able to fight Kaido, fight off the Beast Pirates, be wounded, but he was able to take out one and pretty much beat down another one. And I'm very interested because I really thought the interaction between Izo and Kiku went a little bit further, but I like it too because it's sort of a flip-flop. When Izo went out to the sea, Izo was able to experience the world, whereas Kiku was sort of like sheltered in Wano. So, and then Kiku was basically talking about, is it safe? Or Kiku was talking about what's it like outside there? Like, what is everything like in the real world? And he's like, wait until the morning that we can discuss those kind of things. And it's almost a flip-flop now. Izo's possibly, and Kiku's going to be the one to maybe traverse the seas and do what Izo did, maybe as like a not a retainer but part of the Grand Fleet, but who knows? Because Kiku seemed to have like a really close relationship with Luffy and Zoro. I know Zoro, because of the whole situation when Kiku got her arm cut off and then Zoro like sort of snapped. So I like that. But besides the point, I still want to talk about the other scabbards. I like the introduction to Kiku, and I like the introduction to Kiku. I like how we saw Kiku and Kinemon on the back, still basically half dead. And then we saw 2 doctors, or 3 doctors? Couldn't tell if we saw, I can't remember if we saw Chopper this chapter, but we saw Marco and Law. Law's completely out of energy, so Law's at the table. Marco's right now is healing Himimaru and Kamachio, so it depends, and Marco cannot really heal them completely. He can only like speed up their regenerative process, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. But the thing is with Kinemon, I think he needs to see Law because of his body, but that's neither here nor there. But moving forward, Ashura Doji, it's we don't have like a full confirmation that all these people are dead. With Ashura Doji, we saw that he perished because of the bomb from Kanjuro, and then we saw his sword stuck in the ground, and we saw him lying there. And right now the whole castle's ablaze and falling down. So is Ashura Doji just done for? We're not going to see him again. And to reiterate, the whole castle falling down, 2 things show that, yo, if you're just lying around, you're going to die. Actually, 3 things. 1, the building falling on Orochi. 2, the building almost falling on Raizo. And 3, the Jinbei catching it and saying that, yes, you guys fought a hard-fought battle, but burning alive in this castle would be the worst way to go out. So I'm interested to see, yo, is Ashura Doji really just going to perish on Onigashima? I'm very interested. Dendro, where you at? Ashura Doji, are you dead? Kiku Kinemon, on the edge. Izo, on the edge. Kamatsu is just chilling right now. I'm very interested. Kawamatsu was with Hirogoro last time I saw him, so I'm very interested to see what Kawamatsu's up to. Kanjuro is pretty much down for the count. Like, I think Kanjuro is pretty much dead. I think with the passing of Kanzenbo saying Orochi-sama as it like fades away, I think that's actually Kanjuro just like kicking the bucket. But besides that, like, I want to see what else is there for the other retainers, and I'm very interested to see how things play out with Hiyori now. And the reason why I enjoy this so much, because if you guys have followed my channel, I have talked about this ad nauseum. Hiyori, the Moon Princess, Im-sama, the story of the Moon Princess coming down, the golden nuggets in the bamboo tree, the bamboo man protecting her, their daughter from the 5 emperors. The 5 emperors are lauding after this Moon Princess, and then later on she comes back down. The people from the moon come back down to reclaim her, and she says that, oh, give this to the one emperor that I actually liked. This is a portion for immortality. The guy says, I don't want it, because if I'm going to live a life without you for the rest of my life, why would I want to do that to myself? And to be honest, I made so many theories about it, and now it's all coming together. And the fact that the name of the song was Moon Princess, I'm like, let's go. But besides that, the interesting part about this whole story is too with Orochi and Usopp. I know those two aren't really tied together, but I want to talk about it right now because, one, I thought the way that Hiyori was going to kill Orochi was actually with poison. Almost like how you killed my father with poison, I'm going to kill you with poison. But I like the idea now that Hiyori actually stuck a sea prism stone in Orochi without him noticing, and he's unable to transform. And to be honest, like, it was a serious moment when Orochi's basically pissed off that Fukurokuju's not there. The castle's like basically being destroyed. He's like, where's Fukurokuju? Was that Kanzenbo or was that Kanjo's doing that made the whole thing blow up? And then Hiyori's just in the back like bang, 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 not even giving him 2 shits. And Orochi's like, why are you still playing? We're about to die. And he's like, and then Hiyori's like, so? And then he's like, I like how this was your favorite song the whole time. And he's like, take the mask off, take the mask off. She's like, why would I take the mask off to show you my face when I'm playing the song of the of her father, Kozuki Oden? And then Orochi's like, father? And he's like so pissed off. And I was like, she's like, bang, 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 bang. But the thing is, Orochi's surprised, and he always talking there with like a mellow face. Like her dialogue seems like it's very mellow, but at the same time, behind the mask, we know she's probably tearing up and crying. And it just plays a little bit more into the lore of One Piece, because I talked about the Moon Princess, but now I'm going to sort of phase over to the other story, the Yamato no Orochi story. And the story of the Yamato no Orochi, it was like Susanoo was cast out by Amaterasu, and basically he meets these 2 earth deities who's been saying they've been sacrificing their daughter to the Yamato no Orochi. Susanoo basically says, all right, take these buckets of sake. The Hydra finally comes, or the Yamato no Orochi comes, gets drunk, and he beheads them all. And the last tail, or the last head, when he goes to cut it off, he breaks the sword he has, and in the Yamato no Orochi, he gets the Amano Murakumo, and the Amano Murakumo later on became one of the the Japanese regalia, or one of the 3 regalia of Japanese. And it was later on, the name was actually later on changed, but right now is the Amano Murakumo for the story at hand. And then, thinking about it, the Amano Habakiri would be the perfect place to like take the place of that sword in the story, and using the Amano Habakiri would be used to kill Orochi. And I think the name, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the Amano Habakiri is actually called Snake Slayer Heaven. So I feel as though it all fits perfectly well. But besides the point, the reason why I said Usopp and Orochi is because if Orochi does die, we know the significance now of devil fruits being respawned, and not only that, we know the significance of other devil fruits being mentioned in the story. We got 2 Awakenings, Kid Law, we got Big Mom seeing the expansion of hers, we got Luffy, question mark. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. We got a couple things that are really interesting and reeling about devil fruits. So if Orochi does die, I'm very interested to see where his devil fruit goes. But the reason why I mentioned Usopp was not because of Orochi, but what Orochi said in this chapter. He said that must have been Conqueror's doing, and like I mentioned earlier, Conqueror probably kicked the damn bucket. And if he did, where's his devil fruit? And I want to tie that a little bit more to a couple things that we've seen so far in the story. I already made a theory on TikTok. If you guys are not following my TikTok, MoashDMC on TikTok. But on TikTok, I made a theory about Usopp possibly gaining Conqueror's devil fruit. And now hear me out. We know Usopp can paint, Jolly Roger. We know Usopp has a master for design with the Snow Queen. We know that Usopp, if he had a real occupation, would be a graphic designer. We know the number game with the devil fruits 1 through 10. Usopp would be Fu for 2, because Fu Day, so the 2. And then I'm gonna talk about the other couple later on with Luffy. I'm gonna mention his awakening possibly. But he said there's no way to get out of this place, and Usopp is actually a level above, or 2 levels above. I think he's basement level 1. Yeah, it's basement level 1, basement level 2, then weaponry. Yeah, but there's a hole to sneak your way through. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because if Conqueror, I feel as though Kenzembo was almost like the spirit of not only Conqueror, but also the devil fruit, and the perishing of Conqueror sort of like makes it so his devil fruit goes back into reincarnation, into the reincarnation cycle. And it's possible that Usopp may get it. And I already talked about how it's supposed to go into the nearest plant, but it's other examples there's other examples of it not actually going into a plant. For Usopp, he has I said plants, I meant fruits. For Usopp, he has like the plants or his wow, I am blanking on Usopp's name. The name of his pop greens, sorry, damn. But basically, it can go to a fruit, but we also know it can go into fungi with Chopper eating the mushroom. So it's possible it can maybe go into a plant that Usopp has. You never know. There's a couple things tied to Usopp having gag moments with eating things he shouldn't. The Tabasco one with Sugar, so that may actually play out. And speaking of Sugar, when Usopp beat Sugar, he was with Conqueror, and that's how he unlocked his observation hockey, and I think it'll plays out a little bit more. And to tie it all in, Usopp said there's no way to escape, we have to find a way to exit, and he's on the basement floor, so either he goes up, or maybe he eats the devil fruit and he creates something to help him fly. And the last thing we saw flying that really couldn't fly was a pink dragon. And the last pink dragon we saw that had connection to Usopp was Ryunosuke on Zou. One was climbing Zunisha, and Zunisha was in this chapter. So, yeah, hey, there's a couple connections. Usopp flying, I like it. But besides that, let's talk about some supernovas now. Law and Kid I mentioned before. Kid is basically saying, yo, we got to prep for if Kaido comes down. And Law said, if Kaido comes down, we all dead. Because ain't no way, ain't no how you see me getting up and moving right now after facing Big Mom. You expect me to face the world's strongest creature in the world, Kaido, and win? But also, when you think about it, there are people there who should help them. Like, Beppo's Hulong, we haven't seen it. Very disappointed if we don't see it, but that's besides the point. Killer is not completely fresh, but Killer could possibly aid them while they recuperate their energy. So there's a couple things that could possibly happen throughout that may happen if Kaido does come down. But besides that, the interruption of CP0 sort of plays a little waiver factor into how the battle's going. Because the last time we saw a true fight with Kaido was interrupted by Higurashi. And he was so pissed, he killed Higurashi. So could you imagine the next battle? I think it was like stated by Oda himself that the last time Kaido has felt such joy or been so serious in a battle was since Oden, not with Luffy. So now imagine the next battle he's been waiting for so long is interrupted again in Wano. But this time the circumstances are exponentially higher. I can only imagine how Kaido would actually react. And I was talking about before, we truly haven't seen an angry Kaido. Think about it. From the beginning of Onigashima till now, from the beginning of Wano till now, we haven't really seen an angry Kaido. We saw a drunk Kaido. We saw a drunk angry Kaido, but that's a little bit different. But now things are starting to change with how Kaido's demeanor is playing out. With Kaido now, Big Mom's defeated, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, and he gets a little pissed off. So I don't know. But Zoro at the gates of Hades. Last couple chapters ago, we saw that Zoro was facing off with the Grim Reaper, and there's still a couple things this can play out. The Grim Reaper can either be the manifestation of Enema, Sanai Katetsu, or the Wado Ichimonji. It could be the same thing how Kuina died. Well, Kuina felt manifested the Wado Ichimonji, and the Wado Ichimonji came and took Kuina's life, or down these stairs, as everyone likes to say. Could be. Or Zoro could be hallucinating, and the Grim Reaper was just there to deliver the pain that was supposed to be dealt to Zoro so far. So Zoro after the mink drug wore off. But the interesting note is that Frankie caught him, and he's like, "Zoro, you still alive?" Zoro, and there's no response. So now we're seeing the repercussions finally of a true Zoro moment. Because before it would always be like Zoro, nothing happened. Zoro takes all this damage, but he's still able to be Zoro, you know, Roronoa Zoro. But this time it's like, yo, this is bad. So what's gonna happen? Is he still alive, or he's just like in his head, like in a vested state, talking to like the entities of the sword, or is he completely out? And if that's the case, how is he going to be saved? Is Frankie gonna find Marco? That's iffy. Law is pretty much out for the count, and Law may have to save Kiku, Kinemon, and Kinemon. So I'm just like, all right, maybe Chopper, but like, how is Chopper going to alleviate, like with Law and with Law and Marco, there are ways to like aid Zoro truly. With Chopper, is more or less, I'm alleviating the pain, maybe, or I'm patching your wounds, and maybe giving you some type of medicine, maybe. And it could be a situation where, and I'm very interested to see, because now Chopper has like other things with him that sort of put him on a new level. And I think some people are overlooking it. Like now he has a better understanding of the Rumble Ball because of Caesar. He now has a knowledge of the Ice Oni virus and possibly just the Oni lineage altogether. And he also has I don't know if he knows about it, but I feel as though he probably talked about the mink medicine and possibly the repercussions of it, but also trying to understand it himself. So if he's able to combine all four of those, he may be able to make a drug that could aid Zoro, or almost give Zoro like some type of like Oni, like not, I'm gonna say Oni lineage factor with like the recovery rate of an Oni. So like, you know, something in that realm, but like not really becoming an Oni himself, but something to aid him so he doesn't like completely die. But with him at the gates of Hades, it's very interesting. With Zoro at death's door, he's just named himself, I'm the king of hell. So the king of hell actually has to go and protect hell. Like Grim Reaper's like, you talking all this smoke? Pull up, cause the throne is empty, man. It's not like Marriage Law. Like, we ain't gonna have an empty throne. You want to be the king, you gotta come sit there and wait and do your job. Emma, the god of hell, the god of destruction. Yeah, the god of hell, the real Emma, god of hell, the judges right and wrong when the soul perishes or something like that. So you got Emma now, you gotta do the deed. So I'm very interested to see what happens with Zoro, because truth be told, he ain't looking too good. And to be honest, with everything that happened in this chapter, I'm still very curious as to where in the hell is Sanji. Okay, but also, okay, this is, I want to talk about it earlier. With the supernovas, we physically got to see this man X Drake get back up. So you really gonna sit here and tell me X Drake went down, got back up, and said, I'm not gonna leave without something to show for it. I'm not gonna die without something to show for it. And page 1, Sasaki, Black Mirror, and who are just down for the count. They're also ancient zones. So you mean to tell me that X Drake can be beaten and recover faster than you in the... Not hearing it. But also, I want to tell you that Frankie's in the right brain tower. Last time he fought Sasuke, he was in the right brain tower. But that's neither here nor there. But going back to talking about Kaido and CP0, with CP0 now, they get a call from the gorosei saying that no matter what, you need to eliminate Luffy immediately, expeditiously. Do not hesitate, take him out. And the guy's like, I don't have the facilities for that, man. He's like, we don't care if it's impossible, just do it. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, you basically are willing to sacrifice your agents because to do this, and you know it's impossible to do this. So it's funny to me because like CP0 came there to like two things that they want to eliminate, trade with Kaido and Orochi, but also eliminate Husu and make sure he's eliminated. And they're like, are we really worried about Husu because the information he has is outdated? The gorosei probably took one look at the SSG and like, you know what, we don't really need these agents no more because the SSG is like that. So it's funny because maybe the SSG is going to replace the CP0 agents, but them telling him to go eliminate Luffy and Kaido, I'm just like, okay, you have to get a lapse in the battle with Kaido being away to actually sneak up on Luffy, because Luffy's attention is going to be fully on Kaido. So it may play out that they may get a situation to kill Luffy. And this is what I'm talking about. So now we have 4 people at the death's door, possibly, with nowhere to be really healed unless they're taken to other entities. We have Luffy, who may be eliminated by CP0, snuck and eliminated by CP0. Got Zoro, Kinemon, and Kiku. All right. But they're saying go take him out immediately. We saw what happened with Izo, a broken down Izo, basically at death's door already, fought and basically killed one and basically sidelined the other one. And we have the long, lanky one telling him to order the gorosei. This man has to be strong. And when you think about it, the correlation with CP9 and CP0, we know that there were levels to this ish in CP9. So it may be the same. There are levels to this ish in CP0. And maybe those who aren't as strong as the one who's chilling, waiting the whole time. And to be honest, they had 2 things to do. They had to go eliminate who's who, or make sure he was eliminated. They didn't do that. They had to go out there and rob him. They only sent 2. So I'm just like, all right, cool. And they sent the ships to Wano to take over Wano in case Kaido falls. So someone on that ship has to be strong enough to do something about all the other factions on Wano, because they know about Big Mom, they know about Kaido, they know about the Straw Hats, and they might know about Law, Kaido's army. They should know that all these forces are on Wano. So sending a certain amount of ships to do that, and you're already scared of the samurai to begin with, and it's not really adding up unless someone's on that ship that's for the smoke. And basically, all those ships are fodderized because Zunisha said, I'm here to fight on your side, Momonosuke. I'm not here for like some job. I came here to I came for the smoke too. So, I mean, it's looking crazy right now. But back to Kaido. I'm going to make a video on this very soon, but also Awakenings. But I feel as though since Kaido is a true conqueror, right, with Conqueror's Haki and all that jazz, Kaido may be able to awaken his Devil Fruit tenfold. I mean, not tenfold, like a second awakening, basically. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel every time I'm thinking about it, I feel as though all these zones, right? All the mythical zones are all based off like some like mythological creature, right? From Kaido, from Yamato from Marco to even Sengoku, and then to round it all up, the reason why CP0s are going after Luffy now is because it almost makes it so that Oda's writing it so that the person they talked about with the Devil Fruit is Luffy. And I made a video on it, and there have been thousands of videos of it being Sun Wukong. But my take on it is that it is Sun Wukong, but it's a little bit different. I'm playing more of the numbers game, and we already know the 1 through 10 of the Straw Hat Devil Fruits, and the only things we were missing was 2, 9, and just 2 and 9. But for Luffy, right, it's not that he's not a rubber man, because he's always been stating, I'm a rubber man, I'm a rubber man, I'm a rubber man. And I feel as though that is the first part of his Devil Fruit, but his Devil Fruit is actually a 2-part, whereas the rubber man or the Gomu Hito, or I say it like that, Hito, like the Hito no Mi, the human fruit. I feel as though the first portion of his Devil Fruit is rubber man. So Gomu Hito, so rubber man, just like there's a Hito no Mi, the mythological model Daibutsu. Luffy's actually modeled, his Devil Fruit is the rubber man modeled something else. So his is a mythical zone, rubber man model Son Goku, or I think it's Go, so 5, Ku is 9. So 5, so Luffy's Devil Fruit is 5, 6, 5, 9. So Gomu Hito, Son Goku. So the rubber man model Son Goku or Son Wukong. And basically you would have all the numbers. If Usopp were to get Conqueror's Devil Fruit, you'd have the 2. If Luffy was Son Wukong, you'd get the 9. So you'd have 1 through 10 completely for the pre-time skip Straw Hats, the Devil Fruit numbers. But besides that, I want to talk more about Luffy and Kaido, because Luffy was like, backstory, talk no jutsu, nah. I'm here to throw hands. I'm here to knock you out of this country. And before that, with Kaido realizing that Big Mom fell, we didn't even, when you really think about it, Kaido's 59 and Big Mom is 68, I believe. It's like a 9-year difference. So like Big Mom was 24. Yeah, so yeah, basically 24. So 9-year difference. And wait. Yeah, 24. Wow, math is hard sometimes. Big Mom's 24, and we get to see Big Mom when she was younger. She's Big Mommy. She was fine. Chill, baby. Chill. She waifu. I know her activities back then were a little peculiar, not really peculiar, but a little, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But looking at Big Mom, the light in her eyes reminds you of every character we've seen so far when they're young. And seeing sometimes when you look at the panel between Luffy and Kaido, we see them side by side, and then you see the light in Luffy's eyes, but then you also see the shading over Kaido's eyes, showing that they're a little bit different. And that's the same thing with Big Mom. You saw the light in her eyes when she's younger, but now she's completely different. And even at the last moment when she's perishing or falling off of Onigashima, she's cursing Rogers, like, why didn't you tell us? Because basically she put all her life's ambitions into this. So now imagine Luffy doing the same thing, but time after time, instead of succeeding at all these islands, there's something that hinders you. Like with Ace, imagine like an Ace moment or like just falling just a little bit short, and it just kept on happening each and every single time. The light in Luffy's eyes would gradually be defeated, but he wouldn't give up on his dream because Big Mom didn't and Kaido didn't, but the light in his eyes would slowly start to dwindle down. And I'd like to see the dichotomy between between all of them actually, Luffy, Big Mom, Roger, Kaido. When Kaido was younger, he had the same thing, and that's even with King. He was like, yeah, I believe in you, you're Joy Boy, yeah, it's you. So I like seeing the comparing and contrasting all of them, and actually seeing that Oda's making an emphasis that all these people had ambitions just as great as Luffy's, but they didn't actually fulfill them. And even the mention of Rocks was trying to conquer the road, he fell short, and Big Mom was like, yo, don't trust that guy, man, he's not too reliable, dog. I'm telling you about him. It could be a situation that Kaido actually did, but that's neither here nor there. And the reason why I'm talking about Kaido now is because Kaido is, like I was mentioned before, Kaido has never truly been angry in the fight with Luffy. He's been enjoying the fight so much to the point he's actually drinking. But now with Big Mom being defeated, he's like, oh, okay. But to be honest, Kaido sensed that Big Mom was defeated. I wonder if he notices or feels that the other Beast Pirates have been defeated as well. So like maybe the Tobiropo, he's like, okay, it's the Tobiropo. But then he figures out Jack's defeated. We saw how he was with Jack trying to protect Jack. Then we saw Queen. But now I mentioned he also sees King. And we get to see Luffy go into Gear 4 statement. He's like, this is the final time I'm using Gear 4th. Gomu Gomu no Hydra. Basically a callback to Magellan using the 6 Hydra heads. Also a callback to the Greek mythology, the labors of Hercules, and how they all tie into Wano. The Hydra is now present again in twice fold this time. We got the Yamato no Orochi in this chapter, but instead of the Yamato no Orochi being transformed or transforming the Yamato no Orochi, to be honest, I want to point that out. Oda did something a little sneaky right there. Instead of showing us the transformation of Orochi, and Orochi said, I can't transform, we actually got another Hydra in Luffy using Gomu Gomu no Hydra. So I like the little play out between that two. And he's hitting Kaido so fast that he can't even perceive the attacks or where they're coming from. He's like, where are these punches coming from? But I already talked about it in my TikTok video. Like I said, go follow my TikTok. This time he really didn't out of all the final attacks that have hit Kaido in the chapter, this one has shown to do the least amount of damage, right? Like when you go back to the Red Rock, Kaido got knocked in his ass. You go back to the first time Luffy used Conqueror's Haki, Kaido got knocked in his ass. You go to the other time where he used the Jet Stamp, the Gear 3 into the stamp and hit Kaido's stomach. You saw the visible blood and like the white of his eyes being hit. So like this is out of all the attacks that ended the chapter, this one's possibly like the weakest showing. Not actually the weakest in power, like true power, but like physically the depiction of it was like shown the weakest. And it's just like Katakuri. Luffy, when he first went Snake Man, Katakuri couldn't perceive the attacks. And he's like, Katakuri, I'm going to knock you out. Almost the same thing. Kaido can't perceive the attacks, and he says he's going to knock out Kaido. But what's next for Kaido has to be an awakening. And I do believe that for all mythical zones, like to gain the full power of the mythical zone, you have to awaken. And it could be a thing that we get to step further. Or it could be a situation where the hybrid is just what you get right off of eating the mythical zone, and Luffy's just a special case. Who knows? But it's interesting because they said this food has not awakened in centuries, and they tell Gorosei, kill him immediately. We don't have all the information about it, but basically do it. Don't worry about anything else. I don't care if you die. It needs to be done because this, if he awakens it, all hell's breaking loose. And you thought it was bad before, but oh boy, it's really gonna get bad. But besides the case, I feel as though I'm gonna make a video on the Conqueror's Haki, but I'm also gonna make a video on Doflamingo. Don't ask me why I'm mentioning Doflamingo when everything else is going on. Just pay attention, hit the noti bell, and get prepared for that. But like I said at the end of every single video, actually, reel it in. Like I said at the end of every single video, leave a like button. Wow. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Like I said at the end of every... I'm going to leave this all in. Like I said at the end of every single video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button to come back next time. Remain enlightened, y'all. Peace.